On educational grounds, we recommend that the use of the mother tongue be extended to as late a stage in education as possible. In particular, pupils should begin their schooling through the medium of the mother tongue, because they understand it best and because to begin their school life in the mother tongue will make the break between home and school as small as possible. It is important to repeat the distinction between teaching a language and teaching through a language. Language acquisition in bilingual immersion, heritage and dual language bilingual programs is mostly through a second language being used as a medium of instruction. Another danger is that the mother tongue is used by the bilingual assistant mainly for discipline and control but not for content learning, sending the wrong message about language use and function. Conversely, in teacher-centered and lecture-dominant classrooms, the bilingual assistant may not be able to provide much help beyond looking over the students' shoulders, pointing to things in their books and on their worksheets, and occasionally whispering a bit to the students in their home language so as not to interrupt the teacher or disturb the rest of the class. It is axiomatic that the best medium for teaching a child is his mother tongue. Psychologically, it is the system of meaningful signs that in his mind works automatically for expression and understanding. Sociologically, it is a means of identification among the members of the community to which he belongs. Educationally, he learns more quickly through it than through an unfamiliar linguistic medium. Also, the mixture of factors affecting effectiveness is so complex that simple recipes are impossible. Effectiveness inevitably goes far beyond language medium and language outcomes, to embrace the full education of a student. Ultimately, effectiveness is about what is deemed best for the child and society, and not just for the future of a language. However, there is sufficient international research, grounded wisdom and accumulated expertise to make it possible to suggest key factors.
This creates a bilingual resource that enables the student to learn in their home and stronger language while they are acquiring a majority language such as English. This discussion will be extended in terms of scaffolding, see the next section. In the UK and US experience, however, there are a few challenges to using bilingual teaching assistants properly. One danger is that the bilingual assistant uses English.
The chapter now proceeds to consider those classroom contexts where the home language of students is developed. We first consider the importance of and issues related to home language development in schools. Next, we discuss the challenges bilingual students may face in monolingual schools, and ways such schools can still provide scaffolding and bilingual supports. We then turn to the specific context of bilingual immersion and the features and strategies used in these classrooms. Before we conclude, we consider a range of key topics for effective bilingual schools in general. Schools and classrooms are highly complex organizations. They are sites where there are a multitude of actions and reactions, inputs and processes, variable and changing environments, and differing local, regional and national expected learning outcomes, targets and outputs. The formula for success is never simple, partly as success is diversely defined and understood, and partly as perceived effectiveness varies across person, administration, region and time.
One solution to a lack of suitable bilingual teachers has been to hire bilingual teaching assistants who work, especially in the early grades, under the guidance of the mainstream teacher and typically can speak the home language of some, most or all of the bilingual students. In the United Kingdom, such support workers help the very young, newly arrived and slower learners, often working with small groups.
Taking the United States as an example, it is unlikely that such students will learn English solely through unmodified content instruction. Their level of understanding of English may be insufficient for them to fully comprehend mathematics or social studies as it normally taught to proficient English speakers, irrespective of whether a transmission of knowledge, pouring nuggets of knowledge into empty heads, approach or a progressive discovery learning approach is taken by the teacher. Close to the idea of two or more languages being used for instruction is the concept of language across the curriculum. In all content areas, students learn skills, knowledge, understanding, concepts and attitudes mostly through language. Thus, every curriculum area develops language competence. All subject areas, from music to mathematics, science to sport, contribute to the growth of a child's language or languages. At the same time, achievement in a particular curriculum area is partly dependent on proficiency in the language of that area. Obtaining fluency in the language of chemistry, psychology or mathematics, for example, is important to understanding that subject.
The curriculum tends to be the same for immersion children as for their mainstream peers. While immersion attempts to cultivate empathy for a student's second language culture, the immersion curriculum has hitherto tended not to have major distinctive components to develop such empathy and participation. For example, in Canada, a no challenge is that French becomes the language of school and English the language of the playground, street and vocational success. The Anglophone North American cultural influence is often so strong and pervasive that French immersion children are in danger of becoming passive rather than active bilinguals outside the school gates. The same occurs in immersion schools in many other countries, where the minority language is a language of the classroom, but the majority language is the peer, prestige, language in the schoolyard and on the streets. It has often been thought preferable to separate languages in instruction rather than to mix them arbitrarily during a single lesson. Sustained periods of monolingual instruction will require students to attend to the language of instruction. They will thereby simultaneously both improve their language competence and confidence, and acquire subject matter. However, if mathematics, science, technology and computing are taught in English, will the hidden message be that English is of more value for scientific communication? In this section we shift our attention to language majority students in bilingual immersion classrooms. Bilingual immersion is a strong form of bilingual education and begins with the formidable task of teaching language majority students through the minority language. Bilingual immersion classrooms typically target language majority students who begin as monolingual speakers of the majority language.